I was so shocked when I began to find the whole history of Planned Parenthood and how it's connected to genocide and eugenics. When I heard that there was a woman named Margaret Sanger who founded an organization called the Birth Control League that became Planned Parenthood. When I found out that my mother had one of her brochures in 1950 and considered abortion, I began to look at more of what Margaret Sanger was doing. And she felt that the Negroes in America during her time were useless people, and that they're feeble-minded, they add nothing to society. But you know, she said that Negroes are like weeds and they need to be exterminated. But we don't want the word to get out that we want to eliminate them. So let's pick some of their own leaders who are well-spoken and that people will listen to and convince them of our agenda. So Margaret Sanger, working in that birth control league and Planned Parenthood, working with other eugenicists and population control forces, including corporate leaders, she was working to eradicate what was then the Negro community. Tragically, her legacy has continued into the 21st century. And even today, Planned Parenthood, which Margaret Sanger founded, is pretty much primarily, those clinics are located in black neighborhoods. And they're offering what they call free or very low-cost services. But those services include the murder of babies and things that are harmful to women.
The civil rights movement was an amazing step forward for the African American community. But due to the abortion industry, their most basic right is quietly being stripped away. According to statistics from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, legal abortion has killed more African Americans than AIDS, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and violent crimes combined.
At the same time that blacks were being liberated and allowed to ride on the back of the bus, is it a coincidence that a place was being prepared for us down at Planned Parenthood? They put their clinics in minority neighborhoods, predominantly so. In the state of Georgia, for instance, all 17 abortion clinics are in black neighborhoods.
Really?
I've been across America, and many of the Planned Parenthood centers are either on Martin Luther King Avenue or Martin Luther King Drive or nearby. So they target the minority communities. They're doing that in the Hispanic communities as well. And then they say, come on in. We're going to offer you free, safe abortion. I say, well, if it's so free and it's so safe, why do you say you start an abortion at $350, $400, but that the price goes up due to complications? If it's so safe, why are there complications?
Do you think the average African American understands how they're being targeted by the abortion industry?
People in the African American community go, this couldn't be true. There haven't been 14, 15 million black abortions in America since 1973. And when they find out that it's true, they're shocked. And then when they believe it, it becomes, what can we do? And we say, inform, educate, activate your community, tell more people the truth, in love, not in anger. Be angry and sin not, but just tell the truth.
How do you think your uncle, Martin Luther King Jr., would look at all of this information that you've relayed today?
If my uncle were here, all we have to do is look at his speeches. If you look at the letter from a Birmingham jail, he warned about the tragedies of infanticide. Dr. King said injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Well, it's an unjust thing to kill a person because they're too small. If it was unjust to say to Dred Scott, a slave, you're not a person, you're 3/5 human, then it's unjust to say to a baby, you're not a person because you're too little. We can read my uncle's words, and we can find out his true heart for life. It's just very apparent. When people ask me why I'm so passionate about the issue of life, certainly I'm a victim of abortion, a victim in that I was coerced and tricked into having abortions. But there are so many babies that are missing today. And if they had been allowed to live, then we'd be a better world and a better nation. So I often ask, how can the dream survive if we murder the children?